Hey, welcome to another episode of Soul Citizen. We'll talk about the Star Citizen 3.9 update today. And as you can see, we have some special guests along with us. And I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Paul.
Hi, my name is Paul Berserker01, Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at TheAstroPub. I do space and science fiction games, mostly Star Citizen. I'm also the host of The Captain's Table and The Galactic Historian on YouTube. So it's good to be here.
And next we have someone else new. I think this is the first time also, Kelosal.
Hey, how you guys doing? Name's Kelosal. I'm in basically I just love space games, love Star Citizen. I'm a political activist and as well as a teacher, so I'm a great fan of AstroPub because I see what he does in terms of telling the history and lore of Star Citizen. So
fellow teachers
I'm just happy to be here. Absolutely. So I'm just happy to be here and happy to go ahead and try to give whatever knowledge I can to this.
Cool. And we have a returning champion, TenthSigma.
Yes, happy to be here with you guys. It's TenthSigma, playing mostly Star Citizen, dabbling a little bit in Escape from Tarkov, but having fun nonetheless. Happy to be here today.
Cool. So before we get into our topics, what are your you have any thoughts about 3.9 so far before we get into the details? Go to TenthSigma.
I got some thoughts, bro. I got some thoughts.
Yo, what are they?
But it's good. Love it. I love 3.9. It looks great. It's there's a lot to it, and I think we'll discuss it on the show. But
cool.
Yeah, very happy to have it in our hands. At least the PTU.
And you, Kelosal, any beginning thoughts?
Well, first of all, those of you guys that are doubting Star Citizen, stop doubting. 3.9 is pretty good for the features that it's thrown out. Those of us, all of us, obviously, that's followed for a while. Whatever type of testing you're in, this is a pretty good build, and I can't wait to get to the.
And you, Paul?
I was able to stream myself bartending from Wally's for 2 nights, and had a Vandal invasion and a zombie invasion both nights. So 3.9, 10 out of 10, best patch ever.
That's something to get back to. All right, so our first topic is the new menu screen. So are we going to get your initial thoughts about that? Starting with Paul.
I like the new menu screen. I especially like the new like the friends list and that kind of stuff. It's super simple, super easy. It doesn't break the aesthetic of the game, and is very, very well built. It even has the little notifications, which I like, which lets you know, like, oh, someone tried to like tried to add you as a friend, or you join left the party and see if you're still in a party and such. So very nice.
Oh, I forgot to talk about myself. I haven't been playing the PTU. I'm waiting for it to go live, so I'll be the guy who doesn't know anything about 3.9 for this show. Just letting everybody know. All right, how about you, Kelosal? What do you think about the new mini screen?
I was quite excited about this screen. There's a couple other things that I'm excited about too, but this screen in particular made it easy. I was happy with the fact that they finally went ahead and streamlined, I believe, PTU contacts versus the regular PU contacts or live, basically. So now you can, instead of just jumping between the PTU and the live servers, you can just type in a person's name and it pops up and it's good. The one thing that I do have a little bit of an issue with that they may be able to correct, obviously, is the notifications. I get way too many of them, and you have to go to each one and click off 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 and delete. But other than that, they made it easier for you to connect with your friends. They made it easier for you to launch with your friends. It's a great addition to the game.
And you, Chen?
Yeah, I think so too. I think having that unified across not only we're looking at here with the in-game menu system, or the in-game friend system, but also they redid Spectrum as well. And so being able to quickly add friends there. And it's pretty cool. You can kind of see when your friends are online using the friend system here, you can see if they're in Spectrum or in-game menu, or what their kind of status is, or if they're just offline. I think they did a really good job at this. I think it was a very strategic play in that many of the game loops that they have and many of the ships that are in the game right now require kind of that multi-crew partying up to either do a mission or fly a ship, and being able to easily get your friends involved is something that's going to be important. So this looks great, and I think it was a good move for 3.9.
Ms. Hart just brought up something in Twitch chat. If you have the PTU Chrome extension with Sync, PU, and Live Contact, it does work with the new friend list. So that's something people may want to try. Thank you for that. I've only seen the new menu system on STAR Citizen Live and stuff, and it looked pretty cool. Are you guys able to are there any bugs with it or anything so far? Like being unable to see stuff in certain planets and stuff like that?
No, the only bug that I've seen is at the main menu here is that kind of like what Kelosal was saying, you do get a lot of notifications, and sometimes I think it's more of a UI thing. Sometimes those notifications kind of stack on themselves, and you're not really able to click off of them easily. And it's sometimes long strings of text and whatnot. But that's been an extent of my problems with it. So still looks pretty good.
Before we get to Kelosal, just a PSA for people out there. Yes, Twitch seems to be twitchy, as Ms. Hart said. You could try to refresh whatever you get an error code or anything like that. Also, just a lot of people, because of what's going on in the world, a lot of people are on the internet, so it may be a bandwidth issue, but not particularly on our end. Like I'm streaming it, I have the stream open, and it seems fine for me. It buffers every once in a while, but it seems okay otherwise. But yeah, whenever you get an error, just refresh. Okay, what about you, Kelosal? Any bugs or glitches so far in the menu?
There does seem to be an issue when sometimes maybe the server or what have you, when you select add or join, it doesn't join from time to time. So that may be a server thing or what have you. I don't know. Also, in terms of one of the good things that I do like that I wish they may add a feature or two with is a lot of times you don't know if you're in game when somebody added you unless you open your mobiGlas and you see a little exclamation point, right? So maybe they want to, kind of add like a little notification that pops up in your left-hand side, or sometimes the notification in the middle screen doesn't come as often. So that may be a bug thing too. So it's just a little bit of thing there, but they got a lot of kinks they got to work out, but it's just nice to have that. But there is some time when you do select join friend and you not able to launch into that server that they're in.
I'll tell you real quick. So that's so you say that sometimes they have too many notifications, but sometimes there's not enough of the right kind of notifications. What are you getting at?
Well, I won't say the right type of, maybe some additional notifications that allow you to see at least what's going on without having to open the mobiGlas. For example, sometimes you may get a notification that may pop up like a mission screen. You see that when you're in game, and it'll say STAROPub is sending you a contact or what have you. Sometimes you may not get that notification, and you may have to open up your mobiGlas, and when you open up your comms link, you'll see a little exclamation point over the comms link head and lets you know that somebody sent you a notification or a friend request. So maybe they might want to have something that is not only just where you have to open the mobiGlas to see it, but maybe something that pops up on your left-hand side of the HUD or something like that. I mean, I think they have that, but it's not really consistent yet. The other thing that I said that's not consistent is when you right-click, let's say you're at the main menu and you right-click your friend's name and it says join friend. Sometimes when you, most of the time when you do press it, you are able to join them, and sometimes you're not. So that's just one of the, perks of alpha, I guess.
Remind me what letter PTU or build are we on now? If people know.
We are
Like,
what is it? Is it 13523?
yeah, I don't know. I know it was like Q was the last one that popped up, but that was like on Friday.
Q.
P
Friday.
as in Paul.
All right, thank you. And what about you, Paul? Any glitches that you know? Any additional?
I've seen it. Sometimes like you're trying to join on people, it'll like, it'll say the server is full when it's not. That's, I mean, the glitches I've seen are Star Citizen glitches mostly. The cool part is that there's no longer, hey, do you want to be pulled in or not? It's just they pull you into a new server. Like, so like if the party host launches, it goes.
Cool. All right. So next we talked about the Prowler, the new ship that we've been talking about. Paul, what are your thoughts about the Prowler so far?
Prowler?
Yep.
It's pretty. It's very pretty. I enjoy it. It's really cool. Like, there's two things. First of all, it's the first Tavaran tech we've seen in game, and that's badass. Two, it's a really, really good dropship. If you like to do dropships, like those little fans on the wings do actually protect people when they're coming out from side fire. And they also offer as kind of like cover that you can use. It has insane amount of firepower on it as itself.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And it's able to hold like 16 different people plus a co-pilot. It is very, very good at being a combat dropship, and it doesn't pretend to be anything else, which is refreshing in an era of, oh, it can do a little bit of everything. Like, just focus on it. I know there's some call for utility, but like with something like this, where it's like it's designed to do this one thing and one thing really good, I like it. So I really like it.
No. That's my internet. Sorry about that. We should be back.
All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, could someone remind me what the specs are on the Prowler, like what size weapons and stuff they are?
So the Prowler has 2 size 4 Tavarian ballistic cannons, and a size 5 Tavarian laser cannon, 2 of them on top. And you can jump on them either at the co-pilot seat. It's a remote turret that you jump on either at the co-pilot seat or the pilot seat. There are 2 size 2 fuel intakes, small sizes, a small size quantum drive. It has VTOL thrusters, retro thrusters, and 20 fixed maneuvering thrusters, from what I'm seeing. You might want to get away from the stock quantum drive, because that is slow.
The quantum drive, all of the accessories other than the shields are grade A garbage. They're the worst stock, absolute worst stock I've seen. And the guns are good, but the advantage of them is that they're not you're not stuck with those Tavaran weapons. You can swap them out, unlike the Vanduul weapons where you can't, because they're using the stock mounting points that the UEE uses. So you can swap them out, which is nice.
Now, what else have you thought about that? About the Prowler so far, Kelosal?
I think it's a great ship if you like drop ships. I mean, yeah. I'm not a. I mean, I would consider that a. What do you call those people? Engineers or escorts or something like that. I'm not that type of a person. I'm a, I deal with economy and I deal with transactions and trade. Okay, right. And so this wouldn't be the type of ship where I would go ahead and buy. Maybe we could talk about the price a little bit later, because the price, anyways. But the Prowler itself is a great ship. The way how it's designed is phenomenal. Kudos. I don't know off the top of my head who designed this ship, but kudos to the designer. It is phenomenal. It is fantastic, and every change they put in the ship is quite amazing. From the red lights, from the red interior, to the seats, to the way how the doors open up, to the paneling, to the interior paneling, where you see all that nice little visual effects where you can see from the inside out and they can't see from the outside in. I just think that's amazing. It's a great ship.
Who here owns the Prowler in the hangar?
No, I have a loaner Prowler. I have a loaner Prowler from CIG, but that's
and I say it's the black guy.
Yeah.
How about you, Tent? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a great ship. I jumped in a Orgmate's Prowler just this past weekend, and it was really a cool experience because it's the interior with the Tavaran being kind of a bird-like species. When you step into the Prowler, and you've probably seen this on the when they talked about the Prowler in concept a few like maybe it was a ISC last like last season or SEL, but you kind of see how they've kind of built the interior to be kind of like tree like. You can kind of see a glimpse of it when we rotate through the pictures here. But it's a really cool ship, and there's a lot of I think attention to detail. Like one thing that I thought was pretty interesting, you know, aside from the shields on the windows of the cockpit and everything like that. When the dropship doors are open, so when those bays are open, there's indicator lights above the doors, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just a little attention to details there that was cool to see, cool to kind of experience, and the inside of with the ship being red was a different kind of experience. I know when you're inside, yeah, the same way. I put it like this: the same way that I felt going into the Defender when it came out, with the lighting and the interior, the exterior, and how fascinated I was by that, was the same way I felt going into the Prowler. You can definitely get the feel that this is not a human made this is not human technology or human made ship. Is very much alien race and alien technology, and it's been adapted obviously for us to use, and you're very appreciative of not only a CIG development team stepping outside that space, quote unquote, spaceship box, but also they're thinking about the lore and the different species inside the game and what kind of ships they might pilot and make. So it was pretty cool. And we of course, we flew around, and the other thing I thought that was cool about the Prowler was that when you jump out of the the bays, the dropship doors, there's not a way to get back in, contrary to the Valk, which if you kind of do some hopping, you can get in those side doors. Which this makes this a very cool, secure, kind of through and through dropship. So pretty cool. Yeah, I loved seeing it.
I saw.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, fast car, but because my question is,
Yeah.
I haven't tried that with being in group. So does that work with
Okay.
if you're not in somebody's group, that you can't jump into the ship from the outside using those outside doors?
Oh
Because
yeah,
I know
because
when
the
you're in
door.
a group.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just saying that. So the only way to get back into the ship is through the tail of the ship, right? The doors that a team would jump out of when it releases, it's higher off the ground with no platform or elevation to get into the ship that same way. Is what I was trying to get at. I thought that was pretty cool because on the side doors of the Valkyrie, there's kind of those step down, those two step down stairs, or maybe one step down stair, kind of you can jump on a little bit to get back into the ship if you're not going to take the rear entrance exit. So I thought that was really cool to see because the doors drop like this. They drop to they lower, and a part of it goes up, and then you just jump right out. There is a ladder. There is a ladder that someone can get back into on the side, but it has to be released. You know, so if you're just doing a very hot drop and you want to get your troops out, they hit those bays and they head straight through. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's not kind of like you, Kelosal. My kind of career in the verse is as a financier, you know, so you're not going to catch me doing a lot of dropping out of ships, maybe financing the operation that does so. But it was just really cool to see how they've put this all together.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they have Air Force field on the ship, so when you open it in space, it doesn't vent out, correct?
No.
I didn't try it, but your guess is as good as mine.
I think I saw a video about Montoya. First of all, have any of y'all put a video out about the Prowler yet?
No.
No content. Okay, so yeah, I watched a couple of videos. One is from Montoya, and one is from STO Youngblood. And one of them was able to go out this one of the side doors that has the force field, and I believe it was Montoya. He was able to get back in, but I don't know what build he was on when he did that. So
Yeah.
there probably is a way, but it might be finicky for now until they fix it. But as far as my thoughts about it, for the videos I have watched, I think it's a cool looking ship. It's not my gameplay, but I mean, if it were my gameplay, I would definitely want it. I like the way the wing fold down when they want to land and fold up when you want to when you're in flight mode. And I mean, yeah, it's a cool looking ship, but just not my play style.
Now I do have one negative perk, and I'm sorry to be the Debbie Downer, but wasn't at one point the ship was $300 and some odd dollars, and now she's about a good $1,000,000?
Is that? I don't know. What was the last price?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know because
At
I'm not interested in
$500,
this ship. If it's a ship I'm not interested in, I don't look at the price.
If I remember correctly, it was $200 something, like $280 or something like that. I can look it up though.
Okay, look it up because I think we've been talking about it, and I swear we've talked about that it hit 500. I may be wrong. I don't want to give that bad information.
It may depend on the currency too.
$425 is
Oh wow! I would not expect it to be that much. No, that doesn't look like a $425 ship, but it is alien, and it is probably going to be rare.
It was originally $380, and now it's $425. Last time it was sold. It's very expensive. To give an equivalent cost, $425, I think, is close to what the Hammerhead cost. Let me look at the Hammerhead.
I mean, imagine how many toilet paper you can buy with $425. That's a lot of toilet paper.
The Hammerhead
Maybe not now.
was $725 to give a pledge the difference. Like the Caterpillar is cheaper than the Prowler. The Valkyrie is cheaper than the Prowler. I don't even know if there's many. Like the 600i, I think is probably the closest.
Yeah,
that's the 600i was actually it's about the same price. 600i is $435, so it's about the same price as a 600i.
And it's not even a luxury ship.
No, yeah, it's not even a luxury.
Just dropping somebody off. I don't. Okay.
And in the Twitch chat, Gun Glue had an interesting question. Anyone think that the hoplite would be a better troop transport section similar to the Prowler? How would you compare the hoplite to the Prowler?
Is that the hoplite is not stealth, right?
No.
That's true.
It's also a fighter. It's a longer range fighter. The Prowler doesn't really have a ton of range that I know of. So.
And it's smaller. Like the hoplite is, what is it? How many troop drops that you can? Like how many seats? I think it's like 6.
Yeah. And how many on the Prowler?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So twice as many. More than twice. Yeah. Very interesting though. Yeah. So like, if you want to transport more people, get the Prowler. If you want to transport less few people, get the hoplite. If you have the money. So any final thoughts about the Prowler before we move on? Anyone?
We can't mention the Prowler. Yeah, it's a great ship. You can't mention it without. I forgot what the term was they were using, but the one stick pilot or the mechanism that kind of is not like two joysticks, but it has one joystick and it moves with the ship, and the display moves as you move the ship. I'm not sure if we have a glimpse of it in the imaging, but it has a really cool like flying experience, and I thought that was kind of neat. It's unique to the Prowler at this point, and so that was cool to see in action.
Yeah, so no one here put out any content about the Prowler yet, but I watched Montoya had a video on it, and STO Youngblood, he always does great videos on this stuff. So check them out if you're interested in it. All right, so next is the cluster system, rehabilitation. Say that back down fast. Rehabilitation facility. So we're gonna start with TenthSigma. What are your thoughts about that so far?
I have not gone to prison. I was making calls for some kind of federal white collar prison, but you know, CIG and the team didn't hear me on that one. I would love to go to federal prison, but anyways, the club fed, right? But no, I hadn't actually had a chance to go into the prison system. My only experience with it is just seeing people kind of go there, but not actually do it, like not actually try to like run the escape system or anything like that. So I'm kind of green when it comes to it, but the prison looks great. They've done a lot of work. It does make it feel as though this place should be on Aberdeen, you know, on this very hot planet, and you have this prison, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Fastcart's dead.
Yeah, it looks like Fastcart. In the mean, is he streaming or?
Yeah, there we go. I think he's back, but
yeah, there
we go.
Get a Kelosal, go ahead.
All right, so this one is kind of near and dear because I hate griefers, and I think this is essential to the gameplay. I don't know if anybody ever played any other games that may have a prison system like Arcade, where if you go to jail and there's an actual court that is actually held, and they get to allow other people who have been the victims to show up either in a hologram format or in game person to be the jury of the criminal. And in this, depending on how the severity of the crime, you get a significant time or prison sentence. This game has that. I've been to jail 4 times, and with the exception of a jury, I've been to jail 4 times, and all 4 times I've had no less than 10 hours worth of jail time. 3 of the 4 times I've logged out because I was in prison for 11.5 hours, and I was not about to do the time for that as far as the physical labor. So I think it's a great addition to the game, and I can't wait to see what else they do to that. But it's well needed in the game. Other than the fact that it's a nice looking system, it is just that. It's interesting. It's a prison, but they call it a rehabilitation facility. So it's just interesting to see how people are going to be rehabilitated going to Klesher.
Now, my understanding is that the time is still counts down when you're not logged in, correct?
Yeah, it's real lifetime.
Okay, so you don't have to be logged in a whole 10 hours before it expire. So, I mean, if it was like that, imagine how much crime, how much field crime there would be if it was like that. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. If you're not logged in, the time still counts down. So how about you, Paul? I've seen some streamers. You went to prison at least once.
Yes. I've even escaped prison. So the best, I think the best experience with prison, the way to put it, is I got into prison the first time. I was mining to reduce my sentence, and when someone told me, "Oh, go get Hadnite, because that'll get you down like pretty quickly," I went to go get Hadnite, and then some guy came up to me with fists, because it's free fire in the caves. Came with his fists up and was like, "I'm gonna punch you," essentially. And so I turned around and I drilled his face with a laser and killed him.
Oh.
and then got the Had Knight, came back, dumped the Had Knight in, and then they made a big announcement about how you've been rehabilitated. I'm like, not 5 minutes ago, I drilled the dude's face off. Rehabilitated. The system works.
So at least you got away with it. No one saw it, so you got away with it.
The reason I really like about Prison is that it gives some weight to consequences, but it doesn't take away gameplay. I mean, if you're only playing Star Citizen, so you can pew 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 pew, you're probably not playing the right game, because this isn't, you know, Call of Duty and or anything else like that. You're going to have some consequences for fighting, and the consequences go work in the mines for 20 minutes and come back. Like it's really, if you really want to go back into the game, it's really not that much of a punishment. And escaping is, I think someone got it down to 3 minutes for escape.
Really?
It took me about an hour to figure out how to do it. I could probably do it in about 20 minutes, but it's a jumping puzzle. And because of Aberdeen, it's low gravity. So in some cases, the gravity will yeet you off a cliff into nothing. Sometimes you hit the wrong bounce. It is 100% a what's it called? A platforming section. And it's not easy. Even practice, you can mess up pretty easily. And the cool part about it is that even if you escape, you have to have someone waiting for you to pick you up and get out. And if they even show up there to pick you up, they're going to be wanted. And your bounty for escaping is double that of a normal 5-star bounty. So you get like $20,000 UEC to kill somebody for that, which is insane.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of gameplay to it. It's like, okay, cool. Now that you've escaped, you can go reduce your sentence, but you can't equip new armor. You can't equip new weapons. You're gonna be chased by people who are like money the entire way.
So I got a question. When you're doing a platforming puzzle, does the Mario music play, or you have to provide your own Mario music?
Provide your own Mario music. I think there's a couple of one-up sounds as you fall off the cliff. I'm sure I've made the sound as I fell.
And are there any cheat codes you can use, like up, up, down, down?
Yes, the Konami code works. It unlocks shaders that just say "deal with it."
Now, Paul, have you been able to, while you escaped, because I've seen a couple of people escape, and only very few of those who escaped have actually got the hacking codes to the buildings outside of Klesher where they can get the rover. You've been able to do that?
Yes, I did get the codes. The key for the codes is that as you're leaving, you'll see like a little fenced-off security post that's abandoned. There's a little screen inside that window that has the station, like the bays, and then the codes to get into those bays. And they're randomized, I think, by server. Sometimes they're randomized by server session. So
that's nice to know.
Yeah. But it's like I said, like bounty hunters learned pretty quickly that you could stay just outside of the Klesher zone, waiting for people to pick up other people, and then track them as they come out, and just tackle them when they're trying to get out of atmosphere. So.
And also, if I'm wrong, someone mentioned that Klesher, outside the Klesher system is like a fireworks display almost. With all the weapons.
Yeah,
have you seen
all of the weapons going off. Yeah, and to escape, everything fires. Yeah, oh yeah,
fire everything, and they do. Yeah, so like I'm gonna be on a straight and narrow in the PU, probably PTU too. I don't want to be the typical black man who goes to prison and have for the rep. I don't want to do that for myself. I had to, you know.
If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime.
Exactly. But
I for one plan on fixing boxing matches down in the mines of prison.
Yep. You have a bookie to bet on them.
Yes, I'll be the guy who can get you anything. It's like, oh, you need some neon. I can find a guy to smuggle in some neon for you. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna be trading cigarettes or just the neon?
Yeah. Trading. Oh, you need a shiv. I can make you a shiv out of rocks.
Nice.
An interesting point you brought up before, like how much of a deterrent you think that this will be to actual griefing, people who actually mean to troll other people?
I don't think it'll be a deterrent, but I think it'll be a slowdown, because people who are just trolling will probably not go out and make the effort to go mining, because they'll deal with other people like me who are there because we actually played the game and we know how to play, and we'll just kill them over and over again. And no one's gonna stop trolling because they get in trouble. It doesn't really work.
Yeah. See, my argument was, and we had this with our group a while ago today and things like that, was that I believe they said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they were going to be in the near future or in a far distant future, you're going to have multiple characters per account.
Mhm.
And I believe they had that conversation. And if that's the case, then if all of us have played other MMOs and have had 5 or 6 characters on one account, you got that one character that's just a complete jackbutt, and the other character is just a complete angel, and the other character that's a doctor or what have you. So you're going to get those people, if they're able to give you multiple characters per account, you're going to get those people that's going to have that one character who all he wants to do is to grieve everybody and get put in jail. And then what's going to happen? He or she is going to log out with that character, jump on the other character, and may do the same thing or just do something else until that character's time is over with, the other character. So it's got to be an interesting balance on how they try to regulate that. It's going to be interesting.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but not too long ago, CIG actually did put out something about griefing for the point just for griefing's sake instead of just gameplay. So I don't know how that's gonna play out.
Yeah.
All right. So any final thoughts about the prison system so far? Anyone?
It's
Looks cool.
it's a system a long time in the making, and I'm glad it's here. Great. Like I said, if you don't want to do the time, don't do.
Also remember, it's the first iteration, so they'll tweak things and change things around a little bit. They'll add things to prison, like I'm sure they'll have something to the equivalent of pressing license plates and stuff like that. So you're not just mining; it's like salvage or something else that you have to do.
Yeah. That could be cool.
Yeah, and adding like when reputation comes in, prison's going to have reputation. So if you want to play a criminal character, going to prison might actually help you because it'll increase your reputation to certain groups. You may have to for certain quest lines, like you want to get part of this gang, you got to go to prison. That way you can get reputation with them, so you can, when you get out, you can have those missions. So
yeah, I could totally see you doing that. That is something, yeah. Just for you want to get I don't know how the reputation system will work yet, but I imagine they're going to be like a number system, like 1 through 5 or maybe 1 through 10. If you want to pass like number 5, you have to go to prison to get a certain aspect of the quest, and yeah, I can see that happening. I just hope there'll be something. Equally as fun for people who want to play good guy and stuff like that. Like you remind me, you say people who are trolling will get sent to prison and have to fight against people who are already there, been there for a long time, know how to do stuff. Maybe you'll be like the anti-troll. To the troll.
That's the thing about the reason why people who troll is because they're bored, because they're bad. And the people who are prison's going to throw people who are good at PvP, good at fighting one another, know how to do the prison works, to people who don't know what's going on. So at the very worst, what's going to happen is that guy's going to troll, and then he's going to say, "Yep, I'm going to log off for my 10 hours and wait to come back." And those people who are really wanting to play will try to get in there, and then they'll have to deal with everybody else. So they're going to take their own medicine. It's a little bit of win-win for the situation for the people who don't like those trolls. Now, I also want to clarify that the people who are doing criminal things aren't necessarily
trolls, right?
Trolls, yeah,
right.
I have to get. Go ahead.
How long, if you did it legally, how long have you guys been in the prison? How long has it taken you to finish the merit system? It took me a grand total of somewhere between 2.5 to 3 hours to relinquish an 11.5-hour prison sentence. And I'm talking about just doing mining.
It took me 20 minutes.
Oh,
Just mining with that same like 11-hour prison sentence.
Really?
really?
Yeah, the further you go into the mines, the more valuable the minerals you find. So like hadnite and dolivine are worth more. If you get like 1 or 2 rocks of hadite, that's like 4 hours. One
Yeah.
node of hadnite is just 4 hours off. So you get two nodes of hadite, that's 8-9 hours off your prison sentence. So
That's nice to
whereas
know.
like one load of aphorite is like, I want to say like 20 minutes or something like that. It's almost not worth it because it's the amount of time it takes for you to mine it is the amount of time you would have been spending in prison anyways.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get the feeling that Paul is going to be one of those people. Like, if you want something done, or you need a certain material, he's the guy to see in prison.
yeah,
He knows
yeah,
everything.
Like I said, I'm going to be fixing fights and being like, oh, you want to get out? Cool. What are you going to pay me? That way I can return the hadnite.
Quick Chat has something interesting going on. I love this idea from Shiver Bathory. He said, I hope you put a female character in prison that's actually safe, but it turns out to be a deal to commit her sentence, and if she leads you out, you end up in an ambush. That's a great Star Trek reference.
Wow.
Thank you for that. All right, so next up is New Babbage, the interior of New Babbage. Started with Paul. What are your thoughts on New Babbage so far?
It's good. It's good. It's probably the best landing zone they've crafted. It feels alive. It feels realistic, and it's the closest they've ever stuck to their concept art.
How big is it so far?
So there's a Habs area which has like a big tower and has a little bit of stuff around it. And then there's the tramway to the Commons. And the Commons is 3 large sections, each connected by tunnels. And one of those sections is the Wally's Bar, and it's got a bunch of other things. It's I would say probably the same size as most of the other sections we've had, but it feels bigger. It feels more massive, I think. And I think it feels more alive because like one section they just have people jogging around a circle, and you have people doing yoga and push-ups in the center section while you're going around and shopping. So the NPCs are all doing something, so it feels like it's like a place that people are living in, not just a place you're going through, like you can see in like Loreville or Arcourt.
Yeah.
All right, so how about you, Kelosal?
Wonderful. I mean, the Have is what called the Aspire, right? And of course that's where all the players are coming out of that. I believe they're talking about player having housing there in the different distant future. Then you have the Commons, which is what AstroPub was talking about. Looks like the healthy area where the people are jogging around. You see mats on the floor, and you see health stores on each corner of the Commons. And then you go into the areas like the Promenade, right? You got you got the Skywalk, which is interesting in itself. You can just go there. It's like a little tunnel that leads between the Promenade and the Commons. And then you have other things that are in there. The New Babbage Commons, which is where you can buy certain things home to, I believe, Omega Pro, where it's like a oh my gosh.
Weapons, chip components.
Well,
right?
I would say ship components. It's almost like a dumper's depot, but better.
Yeah.
And then you have on the other side of it, you have some kiosks to Shubin. I'm interested to see if they're going to actually open up that facility for you can actually walk into Shubin.
Cool.
There's some other stores on the other side, like Center Mass is over there as well. So
you actually can go into the Shubin mining section. It's just
really,
yes. It's the doors don't obviously open is the problem. So
I'm gonna have to look into that again. Thank you.
How do you get in?
I think there's a button on the side, or sometimes you have to kind of walk up and it'll let you in. But inside is just, I think, where you sell minerals if you're going to be selling mining materials there. And I believe you buy and sell. You can buy mining equipment like the consumables and the different laser heads and such.
Yeah.
So.
How about you, Tenth? What are your experiences in New Babbage so far?
It was amazing. It was everything I thought it would be plus some. The first time I was running around when I woke up in the Habs, I knew that I wasn't going to be leaving Microtech anytime soon. So, and that's how I knew like we have something cool in our hands. And going down and just kind of going through like what we're seeing here, like the promenade and like all that kind of stuff. Um, I finally made it over to Wally's, and I had like what did I have? I had like just looking around at everybody at the at Wally's and seeing the clothing that I had on. I immediately like took a hard left and went to like the clothing area and just like bought some new threads so I can at least feel like I was supposed to be in Wally's. And so it was really cool. It was just it was had this very it just made me chuckle a bit because I'm in Northern California, so it really had this San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley tech vibe to it. So it was cool. It was cool. I love
it looks
being
like a Google campus. Is what it does.
yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Google, like Facebook, type of like holistic atmosphere for people to just be their best selves and be creative and all kinds of stuff. And of course, you have to have your healthy food offerings and whatnot. So it was cool.
Are the clothing more expensive?
Please don't leave kind of situation.
Yeah,
Work
right.
here. Don't leave ever, please. We have free food for you. I
Right,
swear.
right.
Yeah.
Keep coming here.
Is the clothing more expensive there than other places? Or like more scale?
I didn't notice. I just bought everything.
You don't care. You're rich.
It's like, yeah, just give me some clothes.
So
But it
the
was
point
cool.
is, before you go to New Babbage, make sure you have a pocket full of UEC before you go.
Yeah, and make sure you have the right clothes, because Wally's
No,
is amazing.
you can have the right. You can go there and buy the right clothes. So you need the money to buy it.
There's a ton of cool stuff. It's and I was a little upset that like I couldn't, like when I like Kelosal was saying like a Makeup Pro, when I ran in there, I was like, I felt as though I was going to be able to buy some high-end watches. Yeah, to be ship components. So
No, it won't be watches. It'll be the Moby class, high-end Moby class.
the high-end Moby glass, right? Yeah.
The other good thing about this is I stayed the whole entire cycle. And when I'm talking about cycle, I'm talking about the day and night cycle over there at Wallace. And I watched as everything was quiet during the daytime. And then at a certain time, when the night cycle came through, you started seeing the strobe lights come on, the music started popping.
Yeah.
The environment completely changed. And I was like, wow, this is great. And of course, I love to go to the back areas because that's where Oasis is, a Club Oasis. And then there's another club that I can't remember right now. But I thought they were very good if you want to take your org members there and just meet over there in that area. I mean, it's just a wonderful concept that finally come into fruition that CIG put in about. Job well done. Kudos to them. I mean, just phenomenal.
How long did it take to get to New Babbage from Port Olisar?
52 million plus kilometers, I believe. I mean, but that's in game right now. I mean so
it doesn't take that long, like 15 minutes, or depending on your ship.
Depending on your ship, if you got a spec'd up Carrack, you'll be there in 6 minutes. If you got a Carrack with a TS2, Quantum Drive, you get there.
You're cutting off. You get there in how many?
If you have a Carrack, if you have a Carrack with a TS2 Quantum Drive, you'll get there in 6 minutes. In about 6 minutes.
Cool. So other than the shooting shop not being open, have you guys noticed anything bugs or anything that glitches that need to be fixed before it goes live? Starting with Tent.
I did notice that there's sometimes the ghost tram, but I think that's a known bug. But I mean, we've been experiencing that over in Hurston for a while. So I mean, it's just one of those things we've grown to live with in these updates. But I hadn't really seen anything else. Like when my experience, just kind of going through New Babbage was very fluid. Frames were great. I think I was outside of Microtech up at the station. I was pulling probably 95 frames up there, and then down at the when we made it down to the surface, it dropped a little bit. But then in New Babbage, I was getting some, solid 40 to 50, which is, good right now, especially given the fact everybody was flocking there as a PTU. So it felt smooth.
Before we get to Kelosal, real quick, someone dropped in the most updated 3.9 roadmap update, the graphics. I'm having some internet issues, so I don't want to risk looking it up myself. Okay, if you need permission to link it, just ask for permission in Twitch chat. Kelosal, and have you noticed any issues other than Shubin area?
No, not in this build. I mean, I'm happy to say that they fixed the freaking imaginary hole that they had in the Skyway Bridge that people were falling at one point.
Wow.
There's a hole in the Skyway Bridge.
Yeah, it was. You couldn't see it. You just walked and you just fell straight through at one point. They fixed that a long time ago, and I'm happy to see all that. There new lighting issues are coming in. New lighting is being addressed all the time. There, so even in unknown patches that they throw in, from time to time, you start to see, if you pay attention to the lighting, you start to see some visual changes. So it's quite good in this build.
Oh, and real quick, I heard people talk about the NPCs acting correctly, or sometimes incorrectly, depending on the different build. How's the NPCs been going on?
I would say the same as it's always been. Sometimes they're running around, and sometimes they're on top of things. So,
the business as usual. Okay, how about you, Paul? You noticed anything that you would like to see fixed in New Babbage?
There's some small issues with the typical NPC issues where like they'll glitch through each other, and but I mean, there's really nothing major that I'd like to see. Even small fixes, I'd like probably to see. I don't think there's a ship purchasing center in New Babbage, which is kind of off. But there's a rental, but there's no ship purchasing place that I can see. Most of the complaints are just stuff that's not in yet. Like they've got a commercial flight place, but there's no commercial flights yet. So you can't buy a ticket onto a ship that goes to, Microtech and for Microtech to more Paralisar and just not having to worry about it, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I can imagine them adding that, but I'm not sure. When do you think they would add something like that?
Sooner than you think, because they seem to be working on loading and unloading NPCs. They said that as they were working on that and getting unloading NPCs from ships pretty easily with the patch that went live 3.4 or 3.8. I think they had that. So, are they working on that with 3.8 with CitizenCon? So, probably this year.
And between the three of y'all, how close do you think the build is to going live? Oh, let me rephrase that question. Starting with Paul, when do you think the 3.9 will go live?
I think it'll go to everyone this week, and I think it'll go live next week, probably the first week of May.
First week of May. How about you, Kelosal?
I wouldn't be surprised if, there have been some patches. I believe the most recent big patch, they went ahead and just did first wave and then just went live straight from first wave or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went right around May 1st, which is what, this weekend? May 2nd is Saturday, right? So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they went this weekend.
And you can.
Yeah, I'd say that you see PTU kind of open up for everybody, and then a couple days after that, you'll see the live push. So that could be this week, could go into the week after this, but it's soon. And I think that where they're at right now looks great. They're going to work out some of the bugs and get it in our hands so everybody can enjoy it.
So this is my fault because I wasn't clear on this. I want Price is Right style. It's like, give me a date without going over. What date you think to go live? Okay, 10.
Date to go live. I'm gonna go May 6th.
May 6th. Oh yeah, May. And Kelosal, you said May 2nd, or you want to change that?
I can change it to May 7th after they put out the STAR Citizen live stuff.
Ooh, good stuff.
And you're Paul.
I'm gonna go earlier than most of them. I'm gonna say because I still don't think it's gonna come until like the first week of May, but I think I think they're going over. So I think May 1st was what it'll be.
May 1st.
Yeah. If they
it's coming week.
I'd say the build is really, really stable right now. There's some small issues they need to work out, but they seem to have been able to kind of take care of them pretty quickly. So anywhere between Monday or Tuesday, we'll probably get hit with wave 3, which is open to everybody. And if it's stable enough with open to everybody, then they'll definitely release it by Thursday or Friday. But if they have any issues, they'll have to push it until the next week. Though knowing CIG, they'll push it like till Saturday at exactly when I'm going to do a podcast because CIG likes to do that.
Yeah, they seem to love doing that just to make you mad, Paul.
Just me. It's all conspiracy against me.
I'm still upset with the disappearing asteroids over there in the asteroid fields. They need to take care of that.
Yeah. So go ahead.
That's a Vulcan issue. Like when they go to Vulcan, they can fix a lot of those issues.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about 3.9 in general. Like, what other thoughts you have about 3.9 that you haven't talked about yet, Paul?
Food and drink. It's awesome. It's a good system. It needs some small tweaking, but it's pretty much fine. Like I think I've seen one person die because they didn't have didn't drink, but that's because they weren't paying attention to it. I also really enjoyed the new, I guess just the actor status system in general, because the heat and like the survival makes you feel like, oh, right, I'm in the wrong place. You know, like when you escape Aberdeen, when you escape the surface of Aberdeen, you have 10 minutes to get picked up or to find some place to get out. Otherwise, you're dead. You know, because of the heat. And that, I really like that. The urgency it has. Like, hey, you want to go to a moon? You want to go to a planet? You need to have the right armor for the job. Otherwise, you're going to die. So.
Oh yeah, there's something that I'm interested in. Like myself, is that I've seen different armors that you can get or will get soon, and some of those look cool. Some of them aren't going to be the ones that I'll probably buy for myself, but they definitely look cool. How about you, Kelosal? Any thoughts about 3.9 in general that you like, other than what we talked about?
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about the armor because I'm looking at, Black Intellect 73 basically talked about Quantanium, and I was like, great. The volatile mining is in game now, and it's quite interesting. I'm quite sure they're going to do some more visuals as far as the actual tanks opening at the bottom. You don't see them open yet, but you do see the dust coming from the deposits if you do decide to jettison the volatile deposits. So that's quite neat. But the thing is, once you jettison that, you lose every deposit that you had in there. So if you put Quantanium and diamonds or whatever else that you put in your prospect or your mole, if you can't get that back to the space station, so you can go ahead and get rid of it and sell it, you possibly would have to jettison everything. So that's one good thing about that. I love the Quantanium volatile stuff. The suits, the Nova Cove and the Pembroke, a must buy if you're trying to stay out there in the verse, because that basically goes with the food and stuff like that. If you noticed, if you're around the stations, your food consumption, your drinks tend to hang around for a while, right? But then as soon as you get out there, especially in the planets like, let's say, Daymar, where there's 226 possible Celsius degree weather, if you have the basic armor on, you could get heat exhausted, and then you'll see your drink consumption just diminish quickly. It'll start to go. Okay, so it's important that you get the Pembroke I believe the Pembroke is for the heat, the Nova Cove is for cold weather. So you might want to get that and take care of that. But as far as immersion, those things are definitely important. The one thing that I also wanted to address was the, I'm sorry to say this, let me know if I'm getting this wrong. At the PIS, the personal interactive system.
Oh yeah.
Okay, piss. But I love this. I think this is a home run for CIG in terms of you being able to immediately jump into interactions such as equipping or unequipping your helmet, putting certain emotes, making things favorite, like maybe a weapon, a particular weapon or two, or things like that. A home run. Good kudos for CIG. I mean, this is one thing out of all the things they've done. That right there is a deal changer for me.
Yeah, I thought that in the Star Citizen Live we're talking about that, and I was very impressed and looking forward to that when the live build held. So that'll be very handy indeed. Because I play with voice attack, and I try not to take my hand off the keyboard or my hand off the joystick to do minor tasks like changing speeds and stuff like that. But it's for like if I'm using the keyboard, that'll make keyboard shortcuts a lot easier.
Absolutely.
How about you, Tim? Anything else about 3.9?
No, I mean, I hadn't got a chance to, like I said, do a lot outside. The one thing I forgot to say about.
Sorry, real quick. Sorry to interrupt. If anyone in Twitter has questions, you can feel free to ask questions. Put questions in bracket or whatever. Just feel free to ask. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. The one thing I forgot to mention though was I found really cool was that you can leave New Babbage straight from some of those exit doors. Like you can walk right out into the world. Like I remember getting into a garage where I spawned my rover and just went down and started just driving around the city. So it was pretty cool. So other than that, I really haven't played with a lot of anything, any other features in 3.9, but certainly looking forward to spending more time there.
Yeah, here goes a question from our very own Griffin Gaming RPG. Have any of the hosts visited the new moon so far, starting with 10?
I have not. I have not gotten off Microtech.
But at least you made it to Microtech.
I spawned at Microtech.
But so you haven't made a new Babbage or anything.
Right. So yeah, exactly. So I have not seen the new moons. No, I haven't seen any new moons.
How about you, Kelosal?
I love Calliope. I've seen Cleo, and is it Euterpe? Let me know if I'm saying it wrong. Euterpe. That place reminds me of the movie. Yeah, that place reminds me of the movie Pitch Black. Go to the dark side of that planet, of that moon, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you don't pay attention as you're coming into that moon, you will.
That reminds me. I wonder how many people are going to be running around as Riddick in this game, PU, or like stuff like that comes out. That'd be interesting. So you said that was Euterpe. You said it was like Pitch Black.
It looks like Pitch Black. Go to the dark side. Don't go to the light side. The light side, you'll see the difference. But when you get to the dark side, it is pitch black on that side of the planet. And even when you cut on, like, it's very dreary, very cold. Very cold. When I ever go to these planets to test out the armor, I don't put on the Pembroke or the Nova Corps. I put that on late. I always put on the basic armor just to see if there are any types of degree changes, and there are. And it's very cold on that planet, and it's very dark. And if you come in quickly, you're not going to. You're gonna blow up.
So for people who don't know, like me, what are the new planets besides those three? Or just those three?
It's just those three.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how about you, Paul?
I visited all of them at least once. They all look cool. I mean, they're all planets. I mean, they're all moons. Is where you put them.
I did the same thing.
They're updated. For the new tech, which is nice. I think Silo, which is the one that has like ammonia oceans, is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got a liquid ocean that's not made out of water. It's made out of like ammonia or silicate or something like that. It's a nice kind of place.
So what you're saying is you could take a bath and it'll disinfect you?
It'll disinfect everything. That I don't want to know what temperature ammonia is liquid though. That's kind of high pressure and temperature. So
So we got another question, or two more actually. For Black Jinx, like, how should CIG change prison escape routes and prison rescues? Anyone?
I don't really know if they could change it that much. Like what they have right now is fine. They could add more detail in terms of like once you get out of the prison proper, like make it so that nobody can fly in because of some other issues. You have to drive in. They could also add, like different prisons be different places, like a station that's a prison rather than a planet. So that you have a little bit more of a complicated, because you have like now it's not just a matter of like, oh, you only have 10 minutes to survive, you only have so much oxygen, and you spent most of it trying to get off the station.
Right.
So
they could also add other rooms in Klesher.
Mhm.
They could add security rooms that have weapons. They could put missions or sidebar missions. Somebody said earlier in the chat about any other NPC missions that could go on, and you could get one of those side NPC missions where you actually maybe beat up a guy or beat up a guard, take his suit, his badge, or whatever hacking codes, get into a certain area of Klesher that may have armor and weapons, and you may be able to roll through with that with a couple of people. I mean, so there's so many things they can do. I don't know if they're going to do that, but maybe adding other rooms that are of value that may be able to allow you to do a little bit more than just mine for rocks.
Right.
I can just imagine them, maybe not them CIG specifically, but I would like to see a quest where like it's you have to start a prison riot in order to help someone else escape or something like that, like Guardian of the Galaxy style.
yeah,
Yeah.
So Griffin Gaming asked, any thoughts about the dynamic weather?
Wind pushes you around. It's hard to stay like. So if like even when you're flying, you will buff it back and forth from the wind, and if you're out there, like you can actually see feel the like the winds blowing against you. Your character will pull up, and it adds a lot more realism and depth, but it also makes it a lot more scary, I think.
Yeah, so someone for me, like I have trouble with watching. The one reason, well, I don't want to say one of the reasons, but I haven't been watching Twitch streaming as much as I used to, because when someone is flying, I get motion sickness really easily. So when someone is like walking around and turn the camera 90 degrees, that joggers me. I can't handle that, especially if you do it too fast. And sometimes a lot of people have the sensitivity too high, where like you just move your mouth slightly and you move. So something like that, that kind of scares me. So like I don't know how drastic the wind. Let me ask you, how drastic does it push you around?
It's not super drastic, but it definitely impacts you. Like at first you might say, oh, why do I have a random input that I'm pushing left or right? And you realize, wait, it's not a random input. I'm actually being pushed left by the wind.
Yeah, I would advise everybody, because like I said, I explore in the game. I would advise everybody to go to Hurston and immediately veer off to the left of Lorville. Not that far. Don't go that far. In the daytime, because there's a difference between the day and nighttime cycle. But go in the daytime, and first of all, look at the weather tech. The clouds are amazing. Secondly, go ahead and land. And when you land over there just outside of Lorville, I think that is the most intense weather tech I've seen in the game, and the way how it blows the brush, the grass is amazing. Now I've checked out
Nice.
Microtech, I've checked out Daymar, I've checked them out, and they have some intense cycles. But I think the most intense so far that I've seen in game is over there at Hurston. I mean, amazing. Every area is different, so don't think that what you're getting outside of Lorville is what you're gonna get at the Savannas. Okay, because I believe they talked about that elevation is gonna make a difference in terms of how the weather is gonna affect certain areas. I don't know if that's in game right now, but I believe their tech is completed pretty much now, as far as their C4, I believe, version 4, I believe, V4. And but please, if you haven't, if you're checking out weather, please go to Lorville. Check it out. It is quite amazing. You'll see your ship shake. You see your ship move. If it's parked, you will be moving. The brush, the grass is quite dynamic.
Very cool.
Yeah, so Black Intellect said, I've seen a wind turn over a cutlass. Black Intellect, where was that you saw that happening? I'm just curious.
I think it was I've seen it happen on Aberdeen. I've seen it happen on Hurston too.
Yeah, my 315P got turned over on Euterpe. I was on the top of a mountain. I just stopped on top of a mountain and stayed there, and before you know it, she moved over to the right, and she.
Was it destroyed, or could you get back in it, or was it a lost cause?
Yeah, I got back in it.
Okay.
It took a while.
I bet it did. Were you able to take off?
Yes.
You were? Okay, cool.
Yes, I was able to take off. I had to do some maneuvering, but I got.
Yeah, I could imagine, like, if something like an Ursa rover get turned, or if an Ursa rover get turned over. Oh, thank you for the following, Pramster. So if an Ursa rover gets turned over or something like that, I can't imagine how that would be able to recover from that. Oh, Black Intellect said Calliope, where you saw the cutlass get turned over. Cool. All right, so we are so far no other questions. So I guess we're going to end it here. Any final thoughts or any plugs you would like to do? Starting with TenthSigma.
No, 3.9 looks great. Like I said, can't wait to jump in 3.9 when it goes live, so we can play with the rest of our some of our, some of us are on the PTU on the different waves, but once it's live, we'll kind of have a stable build there, and can't wait to do that.
Yeah, fastcart installed again.
Yep.
Am I back here?
Yeah,
I think so.
There you go.
Okay. Kelosal, any final thoughts about 3.9 of where people can find you?
Just I mean, kudos, fantastic, wonderful, great. I mean, just like AstroPub said, 10 out of 10. I want to thank the panel for allowing me to be on with you guys, and Tenth and AstroPub and fastcart and Griffin hosting. So it was amazing. I enjoyed it. I hope to be on with you guys.
I'm glad to have you. Hope you have you back sometime soon. And same for you, Paul. Any final thoughts or where the people can find you?
First off, thank you for letting me come on. Cam thought that it was very appropriate that I come on here. I don't know why. But
there's so many things I can reply to that, but I'm not going to.
I know. I'm trying to bait you there. I'm trying to bait you there for the fast card. But I think 3.9 is going to be a good patch for most people who've been waiting for a patch, because it's better, more stable than 3.8. It's like kind of like 3.7 was, where it was a lot of people were like, there's nothing in here anymore. But it's like it really adds a lot of depth by changing a few things around. It's going to make the game a lot more playable. And though people are complaining because there's a lot of changes that are coming, those changes are good and important. And you can start to see, I think with 3.9 specifically, you can start to see that path. It's like, okay, this is where CIG wants to go. Instead of just CIG going like, well, this is done, it's done, just throw it in there. It's like, no, this is done, this is done, this is done. There's a line of things that they want to get done. And that's impressive. I like that. As for plugs, watch me Tuesdays through Saturdays. We do lots of content.
And you just do Twitch, or you do YouTube and Twitch, that's right.
I do YouTube and Twitch. I do YouTube. I stream Star Citizen. I also do Captain's Table on Saturdays, which also goes up on YouTube, and then I do Galactic Historian, and I'm still working on part 2 of the Jumptown Wars video that I was doing. I got to get back on that this week, but I got to finish it up.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm glad to have Paul on. He added some much-needed diversity to the stream. That's my one line. I'm going to stop at
You
that.
had to do it. You had to do it. Yeah.
That's my one line. Just stop at that before I get myself in too much trouble. All right. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Well, we'll be back same time next week. To check our schedule, check our Twitter, and we are also on SoundCloud and there's a YouTube channel for the VOD in case you want to like watch this in its entirety without the Twitch hiccups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. And I'm fastcart. Find me on Twitch, twitter.com/fast_cart. Let me do that again. Twitter.com/fast_cart. If you want to follow me, and you can follow us on Twitter also. Twitter.com/SocialCitizens. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.